Let's go.
Hello, and we are live on Reba TV. I'm your host, Miss Shay Boss Lady from BossLadyEmpire.org, the pretty vegan goddess. And today we are outside in nature at the riverside. You are watching Boss Lady on Air, the Sex, Love, and Relationships Special Edition. Spicy. Wait a minute, she trying to do the Boss Lady pose? Point your hand out, so dip with it. You should already know. Let's say hello with me. Boss Lady pose. Wait a minute, she trying to do the Boss Lady pose? Feet apart, point your hand out, so dip with it. You should already know. Let's say along with me. Boss Lady pose. Boss Lady pose.
Woo!
Welcome, guys. Today we are talking sex confidence, and I hope you are super confident about this subject because all of our speakers absolutely are. Now, I'm in the UK and it is 8:30 p.m. here. I'm going to let each of the speakers introduce themselves, let you know who they are, what it is they do, and even what time it is in their country. Starting off with the lovely Ben.
Hey guys, my name is Ben Ajiman. My profession is a forex trader and is slash impacting lives. Why? Because we're part of an amazing platform where we're teaching people how to learn how to trade. So please follow me on Mastermind Academy and Ben Ajiman. And I'm from London, by the way. Thank you.
It's 8:30 over here, guys. Okay, up next we have the lovely Kimberly.
Hi, my name's Kimberly Lechnick. I'm an intuitive relationship coach, and I'm tuning in from Chicago, Illinois, and it's 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Lovely. And Mokta.
Hi everyone, my name is Mokta Adeleke. I'm the author of the upcoming book Stop Pushing, Start Doing. I'm also a creator of a workshop called Unleash Your Superpower. And also on top of that, I'm a property investor, I'm a breakthrough coach, I'm a dad, I'm a husband. And most importantly, what I like doing is supporting people in creating the life they want. And I'm in London and it's right now 8:32.
Lovely. So that's the introductions from the speakers. So guys, we're going to get started with our first question. So, sex with the lights on or off? Let's just jump straight into it. We're going to start off with Ben.
Hello everyone, hope everyone's doing good. Okay, sex with the light on or off. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight with the off. Okay, I like it off, not it's just because of experience, just because of my background. I'm just used to having it off because when we like to get intimate, it's usually in the night, so it's only right for it to be off. So that is my answer. I hope you ladies don't get offended if men prefer this option as well. But yeah, so I prefer the light off.
Interesting. Lights off. And you say it's because of your background. So explain a little bit more about that, please.
Just from previous relationships, as I said, I'm always busy throughout the day. So when it comes to having intimate relationship, it's usually in the evening. So yeah, but okay, I'm not saying. Go.
So you wouldn't have sex in the morning?
No, I would. Of course I would. But mostly.
Okay.
No, from previous experience, it's just usually in the evening. Okay, sometimes we do have morning sex, but mostly it's in the evening. So if that's the question, if you're asking me the question, I prefer it off just because I'm used to doing it.
Interesting. Okay. Kimberly, sex with the lights on or sex with the lights off?
Well, I'm a relationship coach, and coming from that perspective, it's a preference. But you know what? I think there's times that they need to be on and times that they need to be off.
Really? Okay, so let's talk about both of that. When's the time for it to be on and when's the time for it to be off?
You know what? That's funny. I don't know if there's a specific system to it.
I love this.
I think that I think that there's just times that they're on and times that they're off. You know, you got to go with the feeling.
Oh, so it's a feeling.
It's a feeling. It's an absolute feeling. You know. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no rule book, right? But I think there's times when they're on, times when they're off.
So you don't mind with it on and you don't mind with it off.
It's all good.
And what about your clients? Have they actually ever specified which one they prefer with you?
You know, we don't really kind of talk about sex in that way. You know, I'm not a sex coach, but from the relationship standpoint, you know, it's all about developing your preferences. And you know, like I said, for me, it's on, and there's times that they're on, and there's times that they're off, and it's all good either way.
Okay, it's all good. All right, you heard that, guys. For her, on or off, it's good either way. Okay, so we're going to go over to Mokhtar. This one will be interesting. Mokhtar, sex with the lights on or off?
For me, I think personally, I prefer the lights on. Right? And I will go also with Kimberly with that. It's all about the feeling, you know, how you create that in the moment with your partner and everything. However, my preference is
I can't hear you that clearly. Can you say that?
Clearly now?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I think there's background noise with wind or something like that. But yeah. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good. So for me is the lights on, simply because I like to connect. You know, I like to connect in that moment and being present in that connection. And for me, the connection is like when you're looking in the other partner's eyes, so I need to see the other person's eyes, to see the face, to see this moment. But my personal preference is the light on. Yeah, definitely.
So you feel there's connection. You want to actually look into their eyes.
What are you thinking about, right? I'm right here.
You'll be thinking.
Exactly. I'll be thinking about what are they thinking about? Where are they now? Where are they gone? You know, like when somebody's looking away, I'll be like, what are they thinking about? You know, or who are they thinking about? You know, something like that. You know. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think one word you said is expressions. You know, I believe you can still see the expressions, facial expressions, where in the dark. I don't need to look at the person's eyes. You know, I just look at the facial expressions, their head and neck. You know, that's what I. You know, that's what it's about. So yeah, the facial expressions, the sound as well. The sound. So as long as that's I'm more keep it loud.
A bit chopping up a bit. Say that again. Just cutting it.
There's too much wind. We can't hear you.
Okay, sorry guys. This is part of being out in nature. I said say that again because you was cutting in and out.
What? Everything that I said?
No, you said you wanted to say something else.
Oh yeah, I just would like to ask ladies, do you feel what do you prefer? Like, because do you feel offended if you know guys want to have the laugh off, or does it make you uncomfortable? Does it make you too hard? Why do you want to me with the light off? That's I would really love to hear feedback from that. Does that make sense?
You were cutting off. You were cutting in and out. So
he was saying, does it make you feel comfortable with the lights on and off? Do you feel offended if it's going to be off?
No, I don't think that there's any offense taken, but I do agree with the gentleman to my left here that if we're going to create true intimacy, if we're going to be intimate with our partner, it's one thing when we're talking about sex, but it's another thing when we're talking about building intimacy. And if we're building intimacy with our partners and we really want to please them, then we really want to be attentive to them. And if we're not having a connection with them, then and we're somewhere else, I think someone else said, then there could be a slight offense. And I think that's a really valid point.
Interesting. Ben said lights off. He's putting his sunglasses on if he has to, people. Okay, thank you for that, speakers. I really appreciate your opinions on that. So our next question we have up. How do you love yourself? Sorry, how to love yourself and what you see in the mirror. Sorry, the screen is really small here. So we're going to start off with Mokhtar.
Yeah, so repeat the question again. How do you love yourself and
what you see in the mirror?
Yeah.
Because some women may not feel confident stripping off, and they may definitely want the lights off.
Very good. Very good point. And thank you for that question. I think the most important thing is how I believe, however way you look, the way that you are. We all come in like different shape, different form, and it's all about, and we can all get better. We can all become better or look better in a certain way. But the first thing is to appreciate and accept who we are, the way that we are, and that makes a huge difference. So I would say, and that's what I do for myself, and I hope people can relate to that, is when you look in the mirror, look at yourself as if you are the most exciting, beautiful person in the world. Like you are freaking hot. That's what I say to myself every time I look at myself in the mirror. And I like people to look at it from that perspective, right? And yeah, and if you ask the question like mirror during that moment, I would say yes. Why not?
Okay. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the conversation continue because one of the viewers said there's a lot of background noise. So I'm going to go into my office. So I'm going to be off screen, but I'm listening to the whole conversation. So give me 2 minutes. And I'm going to pass this one over to Kimberly. And if I don't get back in time, we're going to go straight to Ben afterwards. All right. So Kimberly, you're up next, darling.
Okay. And we're talking about how we look in the mirror, right? And I'd say, I look in the mirror and every morning when I'm getting ready, I just love and appreciate myself. I mean, I think we all need to do that. We all need to just love and appreciate ourselves, no matter what we're going through, no matter how we're feeling, no matter what is going on for us. We just need to really hold space for ourselves, appreciate where we're at, and just tell ourselves that we love ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, what is there? What is there?
Well said, Kimberly. The what you said is really, really profound, and I think that we should do that every time, because as a coach, I think that whatever our brain is telling us, which is the opposite, is actually not true. So we can create our own reality by telling whatever we want to ourselves. So yeah, and it's a way of taking control as well and making those positive affirmation of this is who I am, this is how I perceive myself, regardless of what we think, how we feel, however we feel. Yeah.
Absolutely, because how we perceive ourselves is going to be then projected out to the world. And if we are talking about this intimate partner relationship, it's absolutely going to impact how we are able to show up in that relationship. So it is so incredibly key to show up in the most authentic way. Even if we feel a mess that day, we can still love ourselves being messy.
Absolutely. What your
I think. Pardon? Yeah, I agree with both of you. What I would say is that for me, recently I've been doing personal development. So I think doing personal development and working on your mindset is what's going to enable you to say to yourself that, okay, cool, I am who I am. I do love myself, and maybe have that as an affirmation. So every day you wake up, even 3 times a day, I love myself. I love who I am. I love who I am. And even, for example, like I say to myself as an affirmation that I'm not mediocre. So that's something. Yes. So straight away, I'm putting myself away from everyone else. So I'm not comparing myself. And that's one of the problems as we're growing up, we're trying to follow in someone's footsteps. And that's what makes us not have confidence. But as you get older, you start to believe in yourself because you're not comparing yourself to anyone. So Yeah, and one thing I'll do as well in the mirror, okay. I'm not here to say, but one thing I'll do because I love myself and I appreciate myself. One thing that I really admire about myself, for example, is that I look myself in the mirror and I'm like, okay, cool. I like to go gym, so I look at myself and say, oh yeah, look, I feel really good because I've done good exercise, right? So it's not about being arrogant, but it's just believing in yourself, and yeah, just having faith in yourself, just not caring what anyone else says about you, So yeah.
I love what you guys said.
Did you hear that, Shay?
Say that again, sorry. Yeah, I love what you guys said, and I'm a strong believer in self-love and self-care. Sorry? Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm a strong believer in self-love and self-care. A lot of you know I'm a self-love goddess coach, so I'm all about self-love. Love comes from within, guys, so you've got to love what you see in the mirror. Positive affirmations. And like Mokta was saying, you got to look in that mirror and know that, girl, I know I look good. I've got it going on. And that will start to exude from the inside out. And you know what? Another thing I noticed as well is men pick up when women are confident and when they're not confident. And it actually turns a lot of men off when a woman isn't confident. So I just want to quickly run to the guys and what you think about that. So Mokta, do women that don't act confident, is it a turn on for you or a turn off?
I think is definitely a turn off. It's definitely a turn off in a way that in life we're always going to deal with things, right? And it's really important that whoever you hanging out with, not just like women, but whoever you hanging out with, you want them to hold their shit together, right? And I think confidence that's what confidence gives us is to say, you know what, I might not be okay, everything is not perfect, but I know that I got this. I know that deep inside me, I have the tool to deal with these circumstances, or I know that I can find the support. I know that I can let go of my ego and admit that I don't know everything, be vulnerable, share myself openly, and ask for help. Because most of the time, when I believe that when people are not confident, is like you are holding on to something or trying to figure something out by yourself that you can't do. So it's to be vulnerable and say, you know what, I'm struggling with this thing and I need a bit of help and support. And that's what confidence look like. It's being vulnerable and ask for help when needed.
I like that. I like the fact of reaching out and being vulnerable, being open and transparent about how you feel, because actually that's a way of communicating with your partner. And then, like you said earlier on, Mokta, you'd be wondering like, why is she looking away? What's she thinking? Is her mind not here with me? Is her thoughts on someone else? Whereas if you're open and honest about how you're feeling in that moment, then the guy's able to connect and understand and help reassure you. Absolutely. But that ultimately has got to first start in you, okay? So Ben, what's your thoughts? Is it a turn on or turn off for you when a woman doesn't act confident?
Overall, I would say it's a bit of a turn off. It's a bit of a turn off because, sometimes from my point of view, and please don't cuss me out. Sometimes I think some of the ladies, sometimes, I say sometimes, yeah, they overdo it. Overdo it sometimes. So, for example, someone might have a D breast size, but then they want to E, so they're like, oh, I'm not happy with this, and I'm just like, come on, be grateful for what you've got. So what it does, it just annoys me because I'm just like, look, you're probably looking at these people like the Kardashians and saying you want this, you want that. I'm just like, no, be grateful for what you've got because you look good, and many people have told you beforehand that you're very good, and and once again it comes down to personal development because you have to believe in yourself. But it does frustrate. It frustrates me sometimes because I'm like,
interesting. Well, I'm not blessed in that area like that as Kimberly is. Kimberly's abundant. It's wonderful. But I've learned to love myself as I am, and I've never actually had a problem getting a guy. I've been one of those people that guys have always come to me from young, where they always try and get with me, and I've been like, sorry, not interested. And I've never had to like put myself on display. And I think as well, when you don't put yourself on display, what I've noticed from my personal experiences, it makes a guy want to chase you more. It makes him more curious and more interested. So that's something I've noticed from that as well.
100%. 100%.
Okay, interesting. Kimberly, do you want to share any thoughts on that before we move to the next subject?
Well, I think if we turn the tables, right, and we were talking about, you know, with the gentleman and talking about the attractiveness of confidence for their female counterpart, I think it's important to talk about how we, Shay, as women feel when we're looking at the gentleman friends, right? And I think that is really, really incredibly sexy when you have a man that is full of confidence. It's extremely sexy. It's a necessity to see that, you know, confidence, and not like, I think the gentleman kind of put it, like, not in an arrogant way, but in kind of like a silent, strong way. That becomes really a sexy trait for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a turn off for me when a guy acts insecure and is paranoid and always wondering where I am, what I'm doing, if I really want to be with him, you know, or like, oh, it's too good to be true that she wants to be with me. She must be after my money. Like, darling, I'm a boss lady. I got my own. But you're still going to spend your money on me, though. Don't get it twisted, okay? Because I have standards. But, you know, it's a turn off for me. Yeah, I'm treated like a queen, like a goddess, you know? It's just like, yeah, I find that attractive when I'm...
Great.
Huh?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, I like it when a man can take out his wallet at the end of a restaurant and be like, no, don't worry, babe, I got this. I was thinking to myself, what do you mean, don't worry? Because I was going to take out mine anyway. But you know, when I see him take care, you know, and even just jump in the car and he can drive me around and take me here and there, and I love all that. I love it. It makes me feel, because you know what, my Venus is in Taurus. Okay, Taurus people are about like self-love, nature, like the way you treat them, and you know, like positive. Kimberly, what's the five love languages?
What are all five of them?
Yeah.
So acts of service.
Yes, not that
right?
one.
So acts of service. Oh my goodness, I'm losing them right now.
Touch.
Touch. Yeah, touch. Words of affirmation.
Gifts. Something to do with
gifts. And gifts.
Yep.
And I can't remember the last one.
Right, there's something about gifts. The way they word it, though, like when you get a gift given to you, you feel, oh, you thought of me. You know, that's what I feel like, because my Venus is in Taurus, so that's my love language. So when someone gets me a gift, I really feel like I treasure it. I keep it. I always will remember it, and I'll be like, this person got me that. And like, even something small like my sister's birthday, she got like balloons that float up in the air. So she had a little stand to hold them in. The stand is probably like a couple of pounds, but I kept it all these years because it's just memory, you know. So I appreciate things like that. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that before we run over to our next question. And now we're going to go over to our next question, which is how to make your partner feel confident in the bedroom. Oh, now that is an interesting one. So if your partner is not already feeling confident, that's not a good thing, first of all, to start off with. Because I can imagine whether it's a man or a woman, they probably would not want to continue making love. They probably want to stop if their partner's not comfortable. So I'm going to start with Kimberly on this one. So Kimberly, how would you make your partner feel comfortable in the bedroom?
Well, that's interesting, Shay, because again, going back to the fact that we really honestly need to be comfortable ourselves. So I don't really find that it's our responsibility to make them feel comfortable or confident, rather. I think that that's really in their arena, because if we're really, truly, you know, in our own frames, if you will, then that's on their job description. So I would have to say that if they're not confident, I'm not in the bedroom with them.
Oh,
Ooh.
Guys, she told me straight out. She didn't even try to
Yeah, I like
show
that.
it or come with a soft blow.
Great.
You know
Love
what?
that. Love that. Love that one.
I
I
wonder
wouldn't
if
say
the guys
that.
are gonna be- I wonder if the guys are going to be more understanding. I mean, yeah, I think for women they probably might have less tolerance with that, whereas men, and especially as some men often are more horny, so I can imagine the man to want to be persistent if I'm really like thinking about the situation here at hand. So he will probably try to make her feel confident, even though like we all agree that definitely should start from within. But if they need that encouragement, because it's a partnership, right? We're not just talking about one night stand.
Yeah.
It's a partnership. You want to grow together, love each other, and make sure that you're both confident and happy as well. So Ben, how would you go about doing that?
So I'm a very lovely guy. Just want to say that. Basically, I would basically, for example, if we was making love, and she didn't feel confident, or was feel confident. I would just make sure. I would just make sure if she's okay in doing this, and for example, I'll ask her, would you want to slow it down, for example, or do you want to take a break? Because
Slow it down.
I would want to still keep going.
Okay.
Huh? What?
I can appreciate that actually, because I think
Yeah,
if you are in a situation, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, so for example, if we're making love, I would first of all I would say slow it down. Does it hurt? What? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ben,
So
you
yeah,
keep
I would ask, and then if she's still okay, go on. Say again. Sorry.
talking and then stop talking, so you're making it cut out. You need to flow with your words.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, okay. Let me start again. So basically, I would ask if if you want me to slow down. If we're making love, by the way, I would ask them if you want to slow down. If not, then I would say, should we take a break? If not, then I would just wait. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't feel frustrated. We'd just go again, maybe later on or another day. And if it continued, then I probably would get a little bit frustrated.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what to say to that. Okay, interesting. Okay, so your tolerance levels will wear thin. Say that again.
That's me being nicer than Kimberly. Kimberly just wouldn't do it. I would at least, ask if everything's okay. Take a breather. If not, we try again. There's always another time, right?
Kimberly,
That's nice of you. Kimberly, sorry, you're not like that.
I don't think Ben, I can appreciate your point of view, but I really don't feel that it's about being nice or being mean. I think it's about, what you're willing to put yourself in, or like what kind of position you're willing to put yourself in. And I'm just saying it's a non-issue for me, because I really wouldn't even be in that situation. If you are with a person that you are connected with, and you are, wanting to take that step of being intimate, then for me, it's not a question. So I absolutely, appreciate your point of view. But for me, it's not a matter of being nice or being mean. I do appreciate your kind approach, though, because if you're someone, and I think we have to agree that all of us are not in committed relationships. Some of us are in, the dating scene. And if we're in the dating scene and we're not in a committed relationship, I really do appreciate your point of view, because it's showing respect for your partner.
Kimberly, girl, he just straight threw you under the bus. Kimberly was like, hold up, honey. Wait a minute.
It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
Okay. So we're gonna go over to Mokhtar before we move on to our next question. Mokhtar,
Yeah.
how would you make your partner feel confident in the bedroom?
Now, I kind of agree with Kimberly here. Is like it's kind of before we get in the bedroom, there is a lot of talk that needs to be happening, right?
Yes.
Because once we get in the bedroom, is the ultimate moment. It's like, so there's a lot of talk that needs to be happening, and making sure that she's confident, that she's willing, that is flowing. And once you get in the bedroom, actually, she must already be confident, because I'll make sure that at that specific moment, she already wants it, She's already honeying, she's already like looking for the next step, and she's like confidently ready to take the next step. And that's the key, because if we get in that moment and she's not confident about it, it's like, yeah, there's something wrong in the process to get to that point, in the process before.
See, okay, so you've got a slightly different approach to Ben. Ben he didn't mention the pre-steps. He was just talking about, okay, if I'm in.
I was talking about from like when we're making love. That's from what I saw it from. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with my answer.
now to go with Ben, like in the moment of making love, if someone is not like, or just before making love, is not confident about it, maybe I'll take a step back and maybe start with something light, like maybe go with a massage or having like watch the body language and see what's the person like connect with the most. As you mentioned earlier, the 5 love language, understand the person love language, like as a man, you try to understand what's the person receptive to, and try to go with that a bit more, and then see how things go from there. Because women and men are kind of different, and everybody's kind of different, and everybody have what they respond to. And once we get that communication going and I understand what the person responds to, and we communicate to the same wavelength, it's showtime.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that's a beautiful answer. And it also goes to show, though, the age, like the difference in maturity with age and everything and experience. So I'm sure you once thought like Ben once upon a time, just a few years back, Mokhtar. But because we meet guys at all different stages in their lives, and some have different experiences. Some, wouldn't necessarily think the way Mokhtar thinks, and vice versa with Ben as well. So thank you for that, speakers. I really do appreciate that. So, okay, our next question, which leads on perfectly with what Mokhtar was saying about massage. I was thinking of Ann Summers. Do you have an Ann Summers over in the States, Kimberly?
For the role play?
Yeah, like Ann Summers, like costumes and massage.
So I love the tiers of your questions, because I feel like, first of all, again, I'll answer, if there's no confidence, there's, and there's no connection, there's no role play, there's no costumes, there's no toys. Well, I shouldn't say toys, because, right, if, especially for those that are listening, if you're not in a committed relationship, or if you are in a committed relationship, there are times that sometimes we need to take care of ourselves, right? We need to have a relationship with self. And when we talk about that relationship with self, I think that also plays into this idea where we're doing that self-exploration on our own, so that when we come together with our partner, we are prepared to kind of explore with them. So I absolutely think there's a role in it, in your relationship. I think that's what makes it spicy, if you will. It's what makes it fun. It kind of throws things, caution to the wind, and allows us to sometimes become something that we may not necessarily be, but that's what the bedroom's for, right? It's for exploration and kind of seeing what we can do and what new connections we can create with our partner.
So when I say role play, I kind of mean like you could dress up as a French maid.
Sure.
And hi, Daddy, I'm just here to clean the room.
Shay, I don't. Whatever floats your boat.
As you lean forward. I'm talking about role play. I'm talking about Okay, tonight I'm gonna dress up as a police officer. I'm gonna take out my handcuffs.
All right.
I've got the tie on. About a role play, you know. Like, he's the naughty guy that needs to get arrested. You need to get locked up. How dare you? Come over here. Let me take my whip out. Give me a little for being naughty. Well, that's what I mean when I say role play. I'm not talking about the roles we have in relationships. I'm talking about what's your thoughts on introducing role play into the bedroom?
Well, if you put it that way, I don't necessarily need that. I don't necessarily need that. I'm kind of a little bit different in that way. So, yeah, I find other ways to explore and to do things. But again, it's all about preference. So,
if you came in with your abundant full chest and you had some whipped cream and you was, I guarantee you would have said, I don't need that. Clean that up.
Shay, okay, let me clarify myself. There's different ways that we like to explore in the bedroom, right? Yeah. So it sounds like something that is really on your list, and I can appreciate that. It's not necessarily on my list in that way. So I think there's all different kinds of ways to have fun.
Yeah, and I think for me as well, because I'm not like, I live a celibate lifestyle, so I'm not out here being sexual with people. So I think for me, role play is the closest that they're lucky enough to get with me, unless they're going to put a ring on my finger and marry me. So I think for me, that's like something I like, and I think it's exciting. Like, I've got so many questions and stuff. I even bought a pole and taught myself how to pole dance, so that my husband can say, I've got the best wife in the world. She can pole dance, she does dancing, she can cook, she role plays. Like, I just got this fantasy in my mind that I've just been ticking off things. But yes, okay, that's really interesting. Okay, so we're going to go over to Ben before we go over to Mokta on this one. And thank you to everyone that's been watching as well. We appreciate you guys. Keep your comments and questions coming in. And please do share the video. So Ben, over to you. Role play, costumes, and voice.
So, yes, okay. Okay, role play doesn't really do much for me. You know, I like the spontaneous. Spontaneous? What's the word? I like the thought of, okay, not knowing what's going on, so we just come home and just like rough sex or whatever. I like the spontaneous of it, but the role play, no, that doesn't really do much for me. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but that you said rough sex and not another term, so that says a lot as well. But yes. But
not hardcore, but just saying like, something just so different that you're not expecting, you know what I mean? So that's something that I look. So for example, you know, when you're younger, yeah, and you're watching pornography. Yeah, I'm not the type of guy that you see someone with a costume on and see them with a whip. You know, I'm the type of guy that used to watch the ones where there's an office worker, and then they come together, and the guy just fingers against the wall and starts kissing, starts lifting up. That's the kind of stuff I like. I don't know whether that comes under role play. It doesn't. So role play, that doesn't really do anything for me.
That is role play.
Okay, okay, cool. But my role play is not like your role play. My role play is not like about cream and strawberries coming from your ear.
Send me that video if you still have it, the one in the office.
Listen, that was a long time ago, but I'll send you the link. But also with toys, no, as a guy, no, toys, as a guy, all you need is your hand. But once again, that was obviously a long time ago. With the ladies, of course, yeah, and get, you know, ladies need to treat yourself as well. So toys is a it's a good thing, right?
Doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
have to be
costumes. I like.
Wait. It doesn't necessarily have to be a vibrator when you say toys. It could be like a whip, handcuffs, or something, or a dog chain, or a dog chain, guys.
Okay, yeah, that's not dog chain.
I mean, yeah.
That just
It,
reminds me of like a Soho. That dog chain, and that reminds me of like a shop in Soho just selling all these sex toys. Yeah, so I've never been that type of person. But costumes, in terms of like lingerie, underwear, that things like that turns me on. Yeah.
okay, interesting. Okay, and we're gonna go over to Mokhtar.
Yeah, what's the question again? Remind me, what's the question again?
Role play, costumes, and sex toys.
100%. You know, all of them. You know, simply because I believe that, and when we talk about sex, is a huge world on its own. You know, world of like exploration and discovery that happen in the bedroom. So I'm a kind of guy that like to understand it more and see, because the only way you can, I believe, find out that you don't love something is to give it a try. Then you can find out that, okay, well, I don't like this thing, I don't like that thing. But until you try it, you don't actually really know. So I believe that, you know, for me personally, I love all of it. You know, I love to explore, I love the costume, I love to role play and all that, because it reminds me kind of like when I was a kid. I wasn't watching the video that Ben was talking about. However, you know, I was wearing you know, when I was a kid, I was wearing all those like policeman costume, fireman costume, playing the cowboy and kind of stuff. And it kind of remind me of that time, because and for our viewer who are watching, I believe that this make it fun. You know, it makes the bedroom a bit more fun. So it doesn't necessarily mean and to bring the toy in, but most importantly is to be fun in the bedroom. And however fun mean for you, it could be with toy, role play, or however way you find it, make it fun. You know, and that's what I believe in, making the bedroom fun.
Fun is a key factor. You know, it's like the build up before everything happens, like you were saying with the massage. And I think even dancing, putting in some music, you know, I think all of that is a good lead up. But yes, we've got a comment that comes in that says, costumes is my thing, 100%. Yes, honey, I'm in agreement with you on that one. And also, or a cock ring. Oh, what do they do? Let us know what is of that, by the way. But yes, same preach. I'm preaching, girl. I'm preaching. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for the speakers and their opinions they've given so far. You know, it's nice to hear different perspectives on what people think, because we're not all the same, guys, and that's one thing we have to take into consideration. So we're going to go over to our final question.
You're watching Boss Lady on Air on Reba TV via Facebook and YouTube with your host, Miss Shay, Boss Lady.
That's right, you are watching Boss Lady on Air, and our final question is, by the way, before we go to our final question, each of the speakers are going to leave you with an inspirational quote at the end of the show that they came up with to inspire and encourage you, so look out for that. So our final question is, does having experience in sex matter? That question was for me personally as well. So we're going to go over to Mokhtar.
Having experience in sex matter. You know, I don't think that having experience in sex matter. I think having an experienced partner in sex matter, or having the willingness to go through the experience of sex matter, because we all start in this journey from somewhere with no experience. And also, if we're going with experience, having the right experience matter, because if you have the wrong experience with sex, that can lead to everything, all the wrong thing that we know, like depression and all that kind of thing. But having the right experience matter, having the right the partner with experience matter, and also be willing to go in through the experience matter. And yes, being comfortable, experience, when we have experience with something, we become like comfortable. We become subject expert matter. We know that we handle this. We know that we can do this, So having experience, if the good experience lead to confidence, then is really, really important and is really, really good because it's going to make it fun, exciting, and and really good and like memorable souvenir. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Okay, so Regina says that it does matter. But what I like what Mokta says is one person at least has to be experienced, because then they can kind of like lead the way and introduce and whatnot. Because I didn't grow up like that, guys. I grew up in the whole like the church life sort of thing and a strict dad. And I grew up with 3 brothers. So I can never like disappoint my brothers. And I just had a lot of love for myself. And being a Christian, I believe like it's important to wait until marriage and all of that. But it does come with some fears like, oh, what if I don't know this? Or what if I don't know that? But on the plus side, because I am Jamaican, I do a lot of Jamaican dancing in the clubs. I had several people come up to me and say to me, oh, wow, I love the way you dance. And did you know some of your dance moves are actually sex positions? I was like, really? So I was just like, that gave me a bit of confidence there, because I was just like, okay, keep talking, because I always wondered, like, how would I need to do this? How would I need to do that? Yeah. So, guys, I'm on the talk show. Please don't send any messages in. Thank you. Yeah. So, I love what you said, Mokta, and I do agree, Regina. I feel like some level of experience needs to be there, but like what Mokta says, like as long as one of you experience, and then you can pick it up and you can get to flow with it. It's like my partner I was engaged to. He taught me how to kiss, and like I became a better kisser than him. And that's like me, even in business. I started off with nothing, and then I became the best in my industry. And it's like whatever I do, I always become the best at it anyway. So that kind of gives me peace of mind to know that I'll be amazing. Plus, I got rhythm and flow. Anyway, yeah, without blowing my own trumpet. But you never know when it comes down to the actual thing, like if it'll match with dancing and what you got in your mind. But yeah, Ben, what's your thoughts? Does experience matter to you?
In sex,
yeah,
it
be honest.
I kind of no, I agree with Mokta. Now he said it makes sense, because as long as one person's experienced, then it makes it easier to deal with, right? Does experience matter in sex? Overall, ideally, personally, it would be better. For example, if you've not experienced in having sex, if you're here to lose your virginity, it's going to be hard, right? Because it's going to be painful. The confidence is not going to be there. So, if you used to ask me that question, I would overall say yes, it does matter. But I totally agree with what Mokta says. As long as one person is experienced, and it's fine if you're not experienced. If does that make sense?
Yeah, but I wouldn't just assume confidence wouldn't be there just because someone doesn't have the same level of experience as someone else. I think maybe confidence wouldn't be there if it's just maybe a one-night stand or the person's being rushed into it. I think then you're going to have a reason not to be confident. Whereas if you've built time with this person and you both know you're ready for it, it's kind of like, you've got an idea of what to expect. You go in there confident, right? Otherwise, you're not going to, ideally, you wouldn't want to start if you're not confident. But yeah, I agree with everything else you said there.
Yeah.
So thank you for your thoughts on that. Okay, and we're going to go over to Kimberly. Does experience matter in sex to you, Kimberly?
So if you're asking me directly, yes, because again, I'm going to pick partners that are confident. I'm going to have a confident partner. So I think that...
One second. Mm-hmm. Does confidence equals experience?
Okay, but I want to talk about that a bit, because for me, part of that confidence and getting to know someone and connecting with them and building that relationship, right? For me, it's about building intimacy, because if you're both in your own frames, right? And you're going to be, taking your relationship to the next level,
Yeah.
that would be something that you would discuss. So does it matter if you just want to look at it in isolation? It's helpful. It's helpful. It helps you navigate things. It helps you
Oh, that's how it is. That's good navigation.
I like
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I think it helps you navigate things. But if you really love and you're really, if you really love this person and you're really thinking about taking your relationship to the next level, then I think that talking about a little bit of the confidence and talking about like some of the other subjects we talked about, I think it all fits together. Does confidence, if we're going to ask it in isolation, does it help? Absolutely. It's going to help make that experience a little bit more enjoyable. But I think that if you're loving in a loving relationship, committed partnership, then you can always work those things out.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think that is true. So that's interesting. Yeah, definitely interesting response. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're coming towards the end of the talk show. We're going to be finishing very, very shortly. So we're going to let each of the speakers go through their quotes that they wanted to leave you all with, okay? So before I do that, I just want to let you guys know there is a brand new talk show that is taking place this Sunday, the 31st of May. It's a Christian inspirational talk show where we talk about anything to do with everyday life, whether it be sex, love, and relationships, whether it be business, you name it. We're going to be talking about everything, even if it's jealousy. And we're going to find examples in the Bible of real situations like that took place. So, Kimberly, we're going to start off with you with your quote, please.
Stop looking for external sources of confidence. The answers are within.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that?
So I think it's really important when we're looking at confidence to know that a lot of times we may find ourselves looking outside for external sources. So a perfect example of this is a man who gets the big fast cars, right? He gets fast cars, he has all different kinds of toys, but really what is that showing us? Is that showing us confidence, true confidence? No, not necessarily. It looks like an external source. So I think it starts with that relationship with yourself. And if you're truly walking in confidence, you are not looking for it externally.
I love that. Ben and Mukhtar, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think what you said, sometimes men will look for internal source to hide a lack of confidence. Whilst if you have confidence within, you don't need to find anything to compensate. That you are confident.
Yes. Compensate being the key word. Absolutely. I agree with that. Ben, do you agree with what Kimberly said?
Totally. It comes back down to I like to say personal development, because if you are confident in yourself, then you don't need to look for any, as you said, any external sources of confidence. So it's all about, you have to start from yourself. So yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
Okay, so viewers, if you agree with that, can you drop some thumbs up in the chat, because our speakers are giving it thumbs up. Thumbs up, speakers.
Thumbs up.
Some thumbs up. We want to see your thumbs up, guys. Okay, so over to Ben. Do you want to share your quote, Ben?
Love is great. Okay, cool. So my quote is, making love is great, but having sex is greater. This is going to raise a few eyebrows, but the reason why I said this quote is just because it's like a bit of role play, a song, and what else? All these little things. And I'm just like, no, I prefer to just for sex. I just prefer to let it be different, let it be out of the blue. a bit of not hard. I don't want you to think like I'm like hardcore, but I just want it to be like just like random, random
Yeah.
but not like planet, all the candles, all the petals. That's just not that's not me. So yes, does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't mean it makes sense, but it doesn't mean if you do role play that's planned. One partner would necessarily plan it, but the other wouldn't. You could just come home from work, have been stressed out, and then your partner surprises you when you open the front door. Surprise! I'm in my 5-foot-inch stiletto, and I've just got my coat on. And when I take my coat off, my put on. Welcome, baby. How was your day today? Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be planned. Like, don't think that. But guys, what are your thoughts on what Ben said? Do you agree?
I hope not.
Okay, go ahead.
I think for me is variation. Not like having the same thing. Like making love every time and just love is like expected is gonna become boring, and having sex for having sex all the time is just gonna be like expected is boring. But as long as there is a kind of like variation, like always like variation, and that's for me what's important. Like as you said, Shayan, earlier, like coming home, not know what to expect, and then suddenly having that is like, wow, that's a way of also showing love. Like, okay, this person has thought about me, has planned this thing, is a kind of showing love, and I will receive that as wow, that's a loving act. And
yes,
another time also I might be like, what, let's forget the candle, let's forget all that thing, let's go for it. And the other person can be receptive as well, and it's also a kind of showing love as well, so it's going with the flow.
Yeah, I mean, you could be out on the beach just having fun, and you never know. That's not planned.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
But yeah, okay. Kimberly, do you want to briefly just explain that before we go over to Mokhtar for his quote?
Sure. I do not necessarily view one better than the other. I do believe what Mokhtar said about that. We need variety in our lives. I mean, it's not realistic to think that we're always going to have this elaborate romantic scene. Sometimes it is just a little bit more simple.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. Okay, so now we're going to go over to Mokhtar. Do you want to share your quote, Mokhtar, please?
Yeah, my quote is, confidence is your ability to perform according to your value, regardless of how someone else think, feel, or act.
Please elaborate on that.
For me, confidence is really to be connected with your value, to understand who you are and what's your value. As long as your value is not like hurting other people or is not hurting somebody else, is to really stand your ground and say, this is who I am, this is how I am, and I stand for me. Basically, for me, that's confidence.
Beautiful. Do you agree with that, Kimberly and Ben?
Yes. It's all about confidence. It's all about in you. It's all about understanding who you are and what you are. So once you gain that confidence, then anything the world is your oyster, right? So yes, I totally agree.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can somebody please read out my quote? It's really small on the screen.
Confidence is an inside job that starts within.
Absolutely. Does everyone agree with that?
Yep.
Confidence.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's like for you to be confident, it has to start within. You can't look for it externally, like we've been saying throughout on the show, and expect someone else to make us confident. We need to be the one to be able to be confident. And ideally before we enter any relationship. So that's basically it. I just want to say thank you to every single speaker that took the time out to share their thoughts. Thank you to every single one of the viewers. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. I've been your host, Miss Shay Boss Lady, the pretty vegan goddess, and you are watching Boss Lady on Air, the Sex, Love and Relationships edition. Wait a minute, she's trying to do the Boss Lady pose? I can't point your hand out, so you quit it. You should
should already know. Let's say along with me. Boss lady pose. Wait a minute, you trying to do that boss lady pose? Feet apart, point your hand out so. Dip with it. You should already know. Let's say along with me. Boss lady pose. Boss lady pose.
Good work.
All right, guys. Everyone say bye. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.